Well, good evening, my freaky family. Thank you for joining us again for another wonderful video of the most weird, creepy, and paranormal TikToks. If you're new here, please subscribe to the channel. I cannot emphasize enough, okay? I'm just going to stop for a minute and just emphasize this enough. Number one, if you subscribe to the channel, the first 1,000 subscribers will have a chance to win a $100 Visa gift card. Okay, so anybody who's number 1 to 1,000 will be automatically entered into that draw. So, I mean, I don't understand. Hit that subscribe button. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything, and you could win $100. So it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense not to. And yeah, so I don't know what else to say, but just, if you can, take 2 seconds out. Doesn't cost you anything. Hit that subscribe button, and it supports us enough that we're able to bring you more videos every day, and we're throwing one out every day. And I mean, I love doing it. Don't get me wrong, I love doing it, but you gotta hit that subscribe button, people. Subscribe. Please, subscribe. Anyways, we got an excellent lineup of videos for you tonight. And so I'll quit yabbering on here. And I'm glad you're all here. And let's get to the video.
People from every background, but they all have one thing in common. They're all terrified of Ronan Farrow. He's coming for you. He's coming for you. Talking of all you it was a big year for movies. Shut up. Shut up. I don't care. I don't care. Many talented people of colour were snubbed in major categories. Unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about that. The Hollywood foreign press are all very, very racist. 5th time. And it's still more fun than this, okay? Spoiler alert, season 2 is on the way, so in the end, he obviously didn't himself, just like Jeffrey Epstein. Shut up! I know he's your friend, but I don't care.
Our next presenter starred in Netflix's Bird Box, a movie where people survive by acting like they don't see a thing. Sort of like working for Harvey Weinstein. You did it, I didn't, you did it.
I don't know. I think I'm gonna have to agree with them, fam. I think they're coming for you this year, Hollywood. I think there's gonna be a lot of A-list celebrities that are gonna be having a little bit of a bad year this year, attributed to consequence, I guess. I don't know. What's your opinions on the whole Hollywood situation and what's going on right now? Seems like it's going pretty crazy there, so I don't know. I'm glad I'm in Canada. I don't know. I love Canada. Not to say the USA isn't a wonderful place as well. Just, I'm Canadian, man. I'm Canadian. Hey, So, anyways, yeah. In fact, I even went fishing today for second time this year. I didn't get anything. My brother did. I got a small ling, which he put back. And, yeah, it was a great day. So, yeah, I don't know. I think there's some celebrities out there that should be watching over their shoulders right about now. What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments. Here's the next video.
The Earth is flat and does not move. It is covered by a glass dome called the firmament. Inside the dome, the sun, moon, and stars move, but the Earth stays still. Above and below the Earth, there is water. This isn't a conspiracy. If satellites were really in space, why do we need communication towers in the middle of the ocean? A compass only works correctly on a flat surface to show north, east, south, and west. The Arctic Circle and Antarctica act like walls that keep the oceans in place. The firmament, a strong glass dome, holds the air inside, creating a sealed world. The Earth doesn't spin like a fast-moving ball. Thunder happens when solid things shift. Even the UN logo shows a flat Earth, which suggests world leaders know this. The Earth doesn't move from east to west. Only the sun, moon, and stars do. The people who taught you that the Earth is a globe actually know we live in a flat, enclosed world that no one can leave. We are told that Earth spins at 1,000 miles per hour, while also moving around the sun at 6,600 miles per hour. On top of that, we are speeding through space at nearly 500,000 miles per hour, chasing the sun. According to this idea, we are always moving and never in the same place twice. Now, think about the Georgia Guidestones. One of the stones had a small hole in it. If you looked through that hole, you would always see Polaris, the North Star. But if Earth were really moving so fast in different directions, how could the star stay perfectly in place? It should have moved out of sight, but it stayed there for 40 years, until the monument was destroyed. People also say that Earth spins at 1,600 kilometers per hour near the equator. But here's something to think about. If a plane flies east at 800 kilometers per hour, how does it reach its destination if the ground is supposedly moving even faster? And what about landing? How can a plane safely land on a runway that's supposedly moving at 1,600 kilometers per hour? That sounds risky, doesn't it? The official explanation is that Earth's atmosphere stays stuck to the planet because of gravity, even with the emptiness of space above it. Now think about this. If Earth were really a spinning ball, pilots would have to keep adjusting for the curve. A plane flying at 800 kilometers per hour would need to tilt its nose down about 850 meters every minute to stay on course. Otherwise, it would keep rising and reach over 50,000 meters in just 1 hour. But pilots don't make these constant adjustments. Once they reach cruising altitude, they fly straight until it's time to land. Pilots don't constantly adjust for Earth's curve. They just fly straight and level. But if Earth were really spinning and curved, wouldn't they have to keep correcting their course? Yet they don't. This makes you wonder, have we been taught the wrong thing? What do you think? Tag your friends who still believe the Earth is a spinning ball.
Well, I think I'm going to have to plead the fifth on this one because, to be quite honest, I don't even know anymore what's what. Because I've been inundated with so many things that, you know what, there's so many possibilities, and really, I only know what I've been told. So, for now on, if it's something that I haven't been able to check myself concretely, I'm just going to say, I don't know. So, I don't know if the Earth's a spinning ball. What's your guys' opinion on that? You know, I'm sure there's a diverse amount of opinions. Hey, throw them out in the comments. Let's see what sort of opinions we get. Here's the next video.
This is Venera 4, a Soviet space probe moments away from attempting the first landing on another planet, Venus. At the time, very little was known about this mysterious planet, but scientists believed that under its thick layer of cloud was a world not too different from Earth, with a similar 1-bar atmosphere and Earth-like temperatures. But little did they know what kind of world this poor little space probe was about to enter. As it hit the atmosphere at 40,000 kilometers per hour, its parachute deployed and the antenna started sending back data. At first, the atmospheric pressure was similar to Earth's, and the temperature was around 30 degrees. But as it descended further into the atmosphere, the readings started to go crazy. 1 atmosphere quickly became 10, 10 became 20, and the temperature was well over 200 degrees, when suddenly the space probe cracked open and all communication was lost. The last bit of data it sent back revealed an atmosphere that was 22 times thicker and 250 degrees hotter than Earth. But now that the Soviets knew just how harsh Venus really was, they were even more determined to get there.
On the moon is round, okay? That can fit. We can have a moon orbiting around the Earth, and it can be round. That's not a problem. Now, flat earthers say that the moon and the sun are both about 3,000 miles away. They don't buy this idea that the moon is 750,000 miles away and that the sun is 93 million miles away and that the sun is 400 times bigger than the moon. They think they're both about the same size and they're both about 3,000 miles away. So, we now have a spherical ball 3,000 miles above the equator of the Earth. Except the Earth is, well, we're not entirely sure how wide the flat Earth is. A spherical Earth is just shy of 8,000 miles across, which presumably if you stretch out a flat Earth, assuming they stick with that idea that the equator is 8,000 miles across, that then puts the entire Earth at about 15,000 miles across. Except that then means with the moon above the equator, on any given night, any country on the equator, the moon is 3,000 miles away from them directly up. And yet a country in, say, the northern hemisphere, 3,000 miles away from the equator, seeing that same moon, the distance that they're viewing the moon from is over 4,000 miles, which means they're seeing the moon about 40% further away than people on the equator, which means the given relative distance, the moon should actually be close to half the size when viewed from, say, the UK, than it should when viewed from a country on the equator. That doesn't conform.
Okay, fam. I want to do a little poll here. I want you to put down in the comments if you're a flat earther or if you're a globe earther. I just want to see what sort of numbers we're looking at for the different opinions. So yeah, take a second and throw down what your opinion is on that, and let's see what the numbers say. All right, on to the next video.
Okay, so let's talk about this in a lot more detail. Okay, so this is Earth right here, right? North, Central, South America, Africa. This is our one rotating sun, and this is the other district. It's still in our district, but this is our part of our realm. This whole thing is our realm right here. So the whole thing is our realm. Right here is Lilith's gates. This is Hades' gate. This is where Lilith's castle is at right here in this area. And if we can really catch a boat here, the Ancestral Republic's right here, or this land's Anik, this is Ancestral Republic. They could really get a boat, go to here, but as soon as they get here, they got all these goons right here. This is Lilith's gates. They getting tore the hell up right here and pushed right back. So Elon wants to fly, but he can't fly, right, because, it's too far. He can only fly probably to the Ancestral Republic. From the Ancestral Republic, he got to fly all the way, you know what I'm saying? He can't go this far. We don't have the capabilities to go to the lands of Mars, you know what I'm saying, from this area here. And plus, you got to deal with all these people here, so you can't stop and land. You stop and land, man, the Klingons is on your ass real quick. You know what I'm saying? So, and this whole land is a wasteland. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing but dragons over here in these mountains right here in the mountain wall. Okay, so you got to fly and get that free energy source from the president, so that way he can fly from here straight across non-stop and land in an area, this land right here, somewhere over here. And because the land of Mars is kind of desolate from the old wars that was happening here in these lands, from the Anunnakis and stuff. It was the Anunnaki and us having wars all in these lands over here. Okay, custodians, everybody is a part of this war. Them, Nibiru, which is Marduk. Marduk is Anunnaki, became the king of Nibiru. You got the custodians, which is a mix of Anunnaki, you know what I'm saying? This is still Anunnaki lands, and of course, you got the children of Tiamat, which live here, which are Anunnaki bloodlines too. It's 13 different bloodlines, but they're all living in these areas that I just showed y'all. So, yeah, man, so the reason why they're trying to get up out of here is because Lilith is about to rise up to reclaim everything back. You know what I'm saying? She already took out, you know what I'm saying, the other leader, which is Enki. And now she's controlling the whole realm. So she about to take control of the whole realm and basically put the prisoners back in prison. The people who are in prison are supposed to be the custodians of this land, right? So that's why majority of the people who are in prison are African American, but really they're supposed to be the custodians of this land, and the roles are supposed to be flipped. So these are the children of Tiamat in these lands. So that's why they're trying to get the hell up out of here. They got to get up out of here as fast as possible, but they're not taking everybody with them. They're only taking the elite, and the other people that they're gonna try to go to Greenland and and Canada to fly out, go to probably this Asgard, which is up here. Asgard's right here. They may try to fly up to Asgard, but Asgard not having it, man. You can only be from a royal bloodline if you live here. They got their own stuff going on right here, everywhere. They got their stuff going on everywhere. Their own civilization. So, if they think they're about to come to another civilization, Bogar, with the technology that we have, they're toast. So the only choice they have is to fly to Mars. They can't go underwater. The mermaids rule the waters. So they have to go fly across. It's the only choice. And they have to have a port here so they can go back and forth from Mars to Earth. Right? And I know they ain't going over here. That's a no-no. You know what I'm saying? Now they're nowhere else. They're good. Lands of Draco, I don't think so. The only place close enough for them to reach is right here. So, but they got to get past all these goons right here, Hell's Gate right here, and I'm pretty sure it's all this area right here. So, it's a lot to cover.
Well, fam, let me see. I don't know. That's my answer. I don't know. On to the next video.
Let me tell you about this valley called the Valley of Headless Men.
Oh my gosh.
All right.
That is spooky.
There's been a lot of fans asking that we talk about this valley. And I heard like one or two stories. I'm like, yeah, it's kind of spooky. But there's more to it.
Nice.
A lot more. Nahanni Valley, located in northwest Canada, is one of the most remote parks in, I would say, the world. There's this valley it's nicknamed the Valley of Headless Men. No one occupies this place, and they haven't for a long time. But what's so crazy about this valley is that with its terrain, it's so insane, the terrain, that like the valley itself, the cliff sides, there's like a river that goes through it, and the cliff sides are like over 3,000 feet tall.
Oh my goodness.
Steep cliffs. And they say that the river is just as deep as the cliff sides. So like a 3,000 foot river.
Terrifying.
In depth. But a tribe that used to, or that still, I think in parts occupies this park, are called I don't know how to say it. It was either the Dean or the Dene tribe. We'll just call them the Dean tribe because I've heard more people say that. They have all these stories of different cryptid creatures occupying this valley, ranging from Bigfoot to different kinds of spirits to even giants. Legends go back and say that giants live in this valley.
Yeah.
And it's just this amazing place. But the way the terrain works, they said that the land looks probably almost identical to what it looked like 100,000 years ago.
Oh my gosh, wow.
So basically all the ice ages, with its certain way it's shaped and stuff, they weren't necessarily affected by these giant ice sheets that like covered majority of the North America.
Yeah.
And with that, the Dean tribe talked about how there was all these prehistoric animals that still probably exist, including dinosaurs, mammoths. They talked about giant beavers, these colossal beavers.
That's scary.
They have the story of these 3 giant beavers that occupied different parts of the valley, and they were so big that if you were on a canoe, like the tribesmen, the Native Americans, if they were on this lake, the beaver would just slap its tail and create a wave and drown people.
What?
Yeah, dude. A giant beaver.
Yeah.
The teeth, the tail, everything, going swimming through that water 3,000 feet deep.
So there's a lot of lore and like mysterious things with this valley.
Yeah.
And there's actually proof. So people are saying like the animals that grow within this valley are like prehistoric size. And it was in the 70s, one guy was doing a documentary about this valley and caught on video a moose that said it was double the size of any moose he's ever seen. And they guesstimated the width from antler to antler, 12 feet across.
Dude.
And they said that's the exact size. I don't know if you ever heard of it, but the Irish elk. You ever heard of that?
No.
That was like a prehistoric deer or an elk that lived in like the UK region, but it's like literally double the size of a moose.
That's scary.
Just crazy stuff. The Dean tribe also talked about that before they were there was a Native American tribe that went by the name Naha, the Naha tribe. And they said that they were a cannibalistic, war-hungry people.
Oh, gosh. And
they lived on the mountain peaks and would attack the Dean tribe. And then one day they just disappeared. The Dean tribe had no idea where they went.
Just gone.
They were always at war with them and like trying to fight them off and stuff. And what I saw is that the Dean tribe was a very peaceful tribe, but the Naha tribe was just cannibalistic, so they would kill and eat and all this stuff. And but then one day they just disappeared. Never saw them again. So in the Dean tribe, they were so superstitious and they were so afraid of these spirits that occupied this land that when someone died, they would cremate them and then burn their house and all of their possessions because they feared that spirit
would linger, right?
Cultivated or lived in that valley and would torment them. So their superstition stuff goes like way back. The reason that they call it the Headless Men or the Headless Valley.
I was wondering. I was like, when are we going to get to the Headless?
Valley of the Headless Men.
Yeah.
Is the first recorded instance happened in it was either 1904 or 1908. Frank and William McLeod. They're these prospectors that ventured into this valley. Let me say this first. This valley is so remote that there's no roads you can go into this park. You can either go by boat or by plane now.
Yeah.
So it's like to get there is really hard. But Frank and William McLeod, they ventured in there in 1908 and they came back because they found gold. And then they're like, we're going to go back and get more gold. Went there. They're gone for 2 years. And their other brother's like, they've been gone for 2 years. We got to go look for them. Went out there, ventured out there, and found a tree that was burnt and found carvings in the tree that had their initials. And then went a little further down, another burnt tree, and there lay 2 skeletons.
Oh, gosh.
Both with their heads missing.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And they're like, is this my brother? Sure enough, it was same watch, writing, journal, all that stuff.
Jeez.
That was the first instance. 1917, this guy named Martin, who was a prospector, built a cabin in the valley, and they discovered him. His cabin had been burnt, and outside of his cabin laid his body without a head.
Are you kidding?
1920, prospectors were found tied to a tree, burnt and headless.
What is happening?
So it's not the cannibalistic Native Americans because they would have eaten them.
We don't know. 1927, a man that went by Yukon Fisher, he was evading arrest, went into the valley, and was discovered headless, very close to where those brothers were found. 1945, a miner from Ontario was discovered dead in his sleeping bag.
Oh gosh.
Like the others, he had been decapitated, and so they found his whole body in the sleeping bag, but his head was gone. And so they're saying that he had no time to react to what just happened to him. Head gone. And there's so many more stories like that. But another really creepy story regarding this was sometime in the 1920s. There was this woman, her name was Annie, and she was a hunter, and she wanted to join this hunting party that was going into the valley.
So we ain't taking no female legs.
Basically, but she was so renowned for her hunting skills that they're like, all right, you can come.
Oh, cool.
And as they're trekking through, gone, disappeared.
Just her or everybody?
Just her. Oh, no. And they're like, we don't know where she is. And then a little bit later, they met up with a Dean chief, the Native American, and he said that he spotted a white woman who was unclothed, naked, crawling on all fours like an animal on the mountainside. And that's the last time they ever saw her.
That is so scary. Why'd you say that part? That's so scary.
But present day, every year there's people that go missing in that forest, never to be seen again.
Really?
Yeah.
It keeps happening?
Like the missing 411 thing.
Yeah, dude.
What the heck?
Dude, that's crazy. First of all, I love this story. This is so creepy.
Yeah.
That is wild, man.
Well, alright, fam. That's been another amazing video. creepy and paranormal TikToks. Thank you for viewing. We greatly appreciate it so much. We would be nowhere without you guys. And like I said before, please, please, please hit that subscribe button. Hit the like. Hit that bell icon so you get notified every time we put out new content. And hey, share this video with your friends so they can enjoy it too. And with that being said, peace out, my paranormal freaky fam. See you next time. Capital City Paranormalish.